Good evening, sports gamers. It is Tuesday. It is a wonderful autumn Tuesday night. I waved over here as if the windows are, I can't quite get to the window this way. It is roughly 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you know what that means. It is time for the SGO Press Pass, your connection to the sports gaming world. My name is Jake Jacobson. Today, I am joined by the footy fanatic himself, Mr. Curtis Russell. Curtis, how are you doing today?
Ooh, I'm doing well. I am kind of upset at my computer. I did tell you I might destroy it live on air, but I'm just trying to keep it cool right now. So we're just going to talk about video games, and I'm just going to try to get over it. That's all I'm going to try to do today.
Yeah, if we can figure out a way to sort of keep the webcam going, chat, you may get a Gallagher-esque destruction of the Curtis's real computer PC.
Yep.
You probably have already noticed, but the CEO, Mr. Mike Knoxxx, is not going to be able to join us this evening. He the energy grid in his home in New Zealand has unfortunately given out on him, so he's not going to be able to join us. We're going to do our best to carry on without him, and we're excited for him to be back on the show next week.
I think, the situation he's in, it's not funny that the situation he's in, because he does need the power, but I could just really imagine him just losing it about not being able to play Madden, all because the grid is messed up.
He's got a legendary rant ready for us next week.
Oh, man. Next week is going to be box office. It's going to be amazing.
Before we get into talking about games, though, just so y'all know, if you want to join in the conversation, we will be, of course, taking viewer questions and answering them at the end of the show. We may be answering viewer questions for a little longer than we usually do today, and we may be answering them on a more wide variety of themes than sports games. So feel free to leave that stuff in the comments while we're going. We will try to loop back around to as many of them as we can at the end of the show. If you want to join in the conversation more often, you can hop into our Discord at sportsgamersonline.com/Discord. You'll be able to jump in, talk about how you feel about the FIFA rankings, talk about how you're feeling about NBA 2K23, talk about how many freaking farming woodcutting games they showed on the Nintendo Direct today. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll be there. So before we jump into the good stuff, Curtis, what have you been playing lately, man?
Cyberpunk again.
Cyberpunk again, huh?
Cyberpunk again. I've sat down on Saints Row. I'm like, all right, I'm just not gonna play it for a little while. It's not because I don't absolutely hate the game or anything like that. It's just,
I get what you're saying.
I just want to play Cyberpunk because the new season or the new series that they just have, it's called Edge Runners. I think it is Edge Runners. It's on Netflix. So I'm actually gonna order some pizza and watch that after this show. Yeah.
This is Cyberpunk 7677. Wrong. Sorry, wrong. Apologies, wrong number. Also, what's up, Daniel? How's it going?
What's up, Daniel?
They have a Cyberpunk 2077 show. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's called Edge Runners. It's like anime style. So I wanted to see like how that story kind of worked in Night City in like the whole Cyberpunk 2077 universe. So it looked really good. So I was gonna watch that. But yeah, I've been playing Cyberpunk. I'm doing a playthrough with another company, but I'm doing it in a game that you've actually streamed before, Jake.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yes. You streamed it, and it's Sonic Adventure 2.
I did. I have a lot of experience streaming Sonic Adventure 2. That is
I'm realizing I am not as good as that at that game as I thought I was.
It's a punishing game. They do not it's not as user friendly as user friendly is such a weird way to word it. Also, it's the momentum in that game. It's a beautiful creation because the momentum in Sonic Adventure 2 does not exist to support the game really in any way.
Yeah.
It really just will shoot you off of ramps because they're not built for you to be fast, even though that's the point. Is this your first time playing through it?
Absolutely
going back
not.
to it?
It is one of my favorite Sonic games ever. And I'm playing through it probably for like the 38th billionth time. I just haven't played it in a while. And I'm playing through City Escape. And like you said it perfectly. Like the momentum, it's like I'm trying to like go straight through the level, just trying to beef right through it. And I'm going as quick as I can. But then these robots with these very square, bullets are hitting you. Boom. And it's like kills the momentum. And it looks embarrassing because I'm recording myself.
Yeah, I feel that.
It's like you don't know what you're doing. And I keep getting a C rank. Like I'm consistent, but it's a C rank on every single level so far.
You got to get more rings and more points. It's weird. It's not about going fastest, actually, for some reason.
Right.
It's hard to describe the decision making that the Sonic team has made over the years, but I think that's the last good one. In my opinion, Sonic Adventure 2 is the last good one they made. So
right. Wow, really?
I think so, yeah. Well, okay,
like
that's not
Mania?
true. Sonic Mania. I haven't played Sonic Mania, but it looks legitimately good. I need to. I own that game. I just haven't played it.
Everybody likes Sonic Colors. You don't like Sonic
Everybody's
Colors?
like Sonic. Sonic Colors was fine. I think I played it at my cousin's house once on Christmas because, you got a younger cousin. Sometimes they need you to play a video game. Like it's not up to you. It's just video game time. So it was Sonic Colors time. I remember that. But,
I played it and I just thought it wasn't good. I think it's a mediocre Sonic game. I just don't.
Colors or
Colors?
Okay, yeah. It's fine. I mean, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
I don't think it's better than Sonic Adventure 2, but I'm a little biased.
Me too.
I've been playing Destiny 2 again, which I'm not necessarily proud to say, but
don't they have pirates on there or something?
Yeah. So what do you mean? Like do you get to be a pirate?
No,
the latest.
There's like is like enemies or like pirates or something, or it's like pirate themed or something like that.
Kinda. The new season is the season of plunder, and you are like crash landing onto these different big ships and like robbing them. So like, yes, kind of.
What's your light level?
Well, good news. That's not really going to matter that much anymore. Apparently, they're taking that out. So I haven't really caught up on a lot of the decision making of the Destiny series. I don't really know a lot of the lore right now, but I do have the latest expansion, the Witch Queen expansion, and that story stuff's been pretty cool so far. And like, I am an FPS kid. I grew up playing FPS a lot. I was in Halo 2 clans, you know what I mean? Like I was like a Halo 2 guy. I was like grinding Halo 2. And so like amazing I like game. FPS games. I just don't like I don't get into them like I used to. But Destiny is always, I mean, Bungie makes Destiny, like, so the shooting's always felt really good in Destiny. So it's always been easy to come back to and be like, man, it's been a while since I shot a gun that felt really good to shoot. So
it's the shooting mechanics, especially in like the first Destiny, are very reminiscent of like a Halo Reach, a Halo 4, very, very, very reminiscent because it's basically the same team that's worked on it. Of course, original Bungie is like gone, and I don't know if you've seen like the documentary of that, like on G4,
I have not.
The creation of like Halo. It is insane. Some of the stuff was going on because I didn't know that they actually got their first look. People got their first look at Halo at an Apple event with Steve Jobs.
Like the original Halo?
Yes, the original Halo.
Oh, I also did not know that. That
is insane. Insane to think that. And then they went over to Microsoft, and they weren't even happy about that. They just needed the funding. They weren't even happy about it.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. I had Halo 1 on the MacBook because we had a MacBook when I was growing up, which meant I didn't get to play a lot of computer. That's a big reason why I didn't get to play a lot of computer games, because we had a big freaking MacBook.
Yeah.
They're not called MacBooks. They're called iMacs, but you know what I mean?
They shared like an office with, there's like this Microsoft calendar thing, I guess, that they used to bring out like way back in like the early 2000s, and they shared an office. And I might be wrong. There might be something else. I think it's a calendar thing.
Chat, take all this with a grain of salt, okay?
Yeah, take it all with a grain of salt. Just watch it, okay? And like they like completely redid the office space because they were like, we don't want these guys to know what we're working on, so we're gonna like put walls up, key cards everywhere so they don't get into the space. I mean, it's a really interesting thing if you really like video game history.
Yeah, so this is our unofficial ad for the Bungie. No, but I've been trying to get my hands on NBA 2K23, but it's not quite in the budget right now. So I'm still trying to figure that out. But
I tried to get a copy of that game to give out to the reviewers, and of course, to our viewers, and Jake was like, "No, it needs to go to me." So
yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
my fault, guys.
unfortunately,
Chat.
he jumped in front of the line, in front of everybody.
Chat, can we go ahead and get a hashtag I miss Mike in the chat if you are sad that I cost you an attempt at a NBA 2K code? That's not true. None of that's my fault. None
of it is. It's cool.
Mike will feel better if you drop a hashtag we miss Mike in the chat, though. I'm sure
can do that.
Both Mikes are feeling pretty bad today, I think. So all right, let's get into some gaming news.
Okay.
We will talk briefly about NBA later. Unfortunately, we are going to probably save the chunk of that conversation for next week when Mike Knoxxx is back with us, and hopefully when I get a chance to have actually played NBA 2K. But for now, let's go ahead and jump straight into some FIFA news. Curtis, they revealed the FIFA 23 ratings. Is that correct?
Absolutely. They sure did. I was sitting there watching the timer. I was going through my head, like, who's going to be the top player? Who's going to be like a 94 overall or anything like that? And I was very surprised because 5 players are all 91. And the cynic in me is just thinking, if they couldn't justify Messi being anything over a 91. So there was like, screw it. Everybody who's good is a 91 in this game because we want Messi to be top tier. And it just seems like Messi's been a 95, he's been a 94, he's danced between like 92, 93. And it just seems like they just went with, all right, we're going to have 91's going to be the main one. And there's 5 players right now. I can go through the players also. One player, the first player, I don't know if you read the article, Jake, or if you even have an opinion on like these players at all or any of the FIFA ratings.
My interest in the FIFA ratings is seeing how my interest in the FIFA ratings is the same as my interest in the Madden ratings, which is the numbers don't mean as much to me as people's reactions to the numbers mean to me.
Exactly.
So I'm more interested in kind of what. Well, we'll get into that in just a second.
Okay, because
you go ahead.
I think I was listening to Mike Straw on another podcast the other day, and I actually learned something. I was like, the FIFA ratings, Madden ratings, NHL ratings, like they have like their own formula for that. You know, EA only knows that particular formula, and sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. So the first player is Karim Benzema. He is a 91, of course. This player has been absolutely exceptional when you look at his track record in La Liga and you look at what he did in the Champions League. He's absolutely a beast in the air. He is dynamite in the box, and a 91 overall. He gets a 2-point increase. I think that was right. Robert Lewandowski gets a drop point. I really don't know why. I think it's because he didn't perform well in Europe last season. Of course, Kylian Mbappe, he stays the same. I don't really know why he stayed the same, but he is considered one of the best young strikers in the world. So I think they didn't really want to. FIFA's weird with ages. If you're really young, they don't want to put you too high. If you're really old, they want to bring you down a little bit.
Right.
Of course, Kevin De Bruyne, one of the best midfielders in the world, plays for my absolutely most hated team ever, Man City. He there was a season he was kind of injury prone, but they still didn't really mess with his rating. But he's back playing really good football for Manchester City. So 91, I think, is good for him. Highest rated midfielder. Leo Messi's interesting. I think Messi drops, what is that? I think he drops 2 points this season. He didn't have a good season in his first season again with PSG. But also, I think a lot of people need to understand his role changed at PSG too. He's more of like a playmaker for Mbappe and Neymar. So I think 91 is good, but I think it's just funny that FIFA was just like, we can't give him anything higher, so nobody else is going to be higher than that.
So here's my first question. So 91 is the highest ranking anybody is getting in FIFA 23, as far as we know, right? Obviously, that stuff changed. Do they do the same kind of thing with Field Sense? Where maybe it's not Field Sense that does it. I know it's something similar in Madden, but do they do the ratings adjustments throughout the year, throughout the season, and stuff like that?
Yes. Because I was
How?
going to get to that. I was definitely going to
Okay.
get to that because I'm going to talk about this player first before I talk about the man himself.
Okay.
Erling Haaland is absolutely tearing up the Premier League right now. He has I believe they're back-to-back. There's 2 back-to-back hat tricks in the Premier League. And when you do his live form, his in-form, when you play the game, he's going to be like a 91. He's going to be, because right now he's an 88.
Jump up, you think?
Yeah, he's going to jump up. He's at 88 right now. They kept him the same because of his form at Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga, and he tore up that league, and he's tearing up the best league in the world, the Premier League. So I think he's definitely going to jump up in overall for next year. But his like you're talking about, Jake, his in form, his live form is going to jump up like crazy. And City are playing good football, of course. Cristiano Ronaldo is still in the 90s, even though he's 30, he's touching on 37. They just keep dropping him. Man, last season, he was the top goal scorer in the Serie A. He was the top goal scorer in the Euros, even though he got put out early with Portugal, and he dropped to a 91. This year, he scored 18 goals in the Premier League with a bad Manchester United side, and he still dropped because of his age. So
you feel like he should be higher?
No. You know what? I don't even care anymore. I'm over it.
Okay, all right.
I'm over it because I think he should have, honestly, Jake, I think he should have remained at 91, but because of his age, in FIFA, when you play FIFA, he's going to drop like 3 points after you play with one season, and then he's going to retire, and then you'll have his regen. So you'll get like 2 years out of Cristiano Ronaldo in FIFA. At best.
He's worth a pickup, you're saying?
If you play with Manchester United, just keep him. I'll say
keep
that.
Him. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't think if you're doing like a run with maybe a team like Borussia Dortmund, Lyon, maybe like Sevilla, maybe not pick up Ronaldo because he's older. But if you're playing with Manchester United, maybe just be like, all right, let's do that 1 year contract, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you were talking about that the FIFA really doesn't like rating people highly the older they get. Is that reflected in the way that they drop off in age in the game?
I think in a way it is kind of smart because a lot of players do lose that speed. I just think it's funny because in Ronaldo's case, especially last year, I think last year was really, really disrespectful in a way because he was a 92 and he scored in a league he's never been in. He was a top goal scorer in the league he's never been in. He also was a top goal scorer in a European competition for Portugal. And I think he was top 5 in the Ballon d'Or race. So I'm just like, why did he drop that point? I don't understand that. And I think that was really weird. This season, you can tell because the Premier League is very difficult. The Premier League is very intense. It's very competitive within itself in England. So I can kind of tell a 1 point drop there. But when they're older, FIFA tends to really digress them, like really pull back that point, especially when you're playing through the seasons and they're getting older. They start pulling those points back. So and their value drops like crazy too in FIFA.
So Madden has a 99 club. Several people are in it every season.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last? If the two, well, not even the two. If the 5 best players, if the 5 best players in FIFA 23 are starting on the roster at 91s,
yeah.
Like, when was the last time? Has FIFA ever had a 99 club, or do they just not? Like, is FIFA just? Stingy is maybe not the word, but is like FIFA more harsh with the ratings than like a Madden or maybe even an NHL are?
I think because there's so many players, they try not to go too high over like a 95. Only Messi I've really seen really get that high in recent years. I want to say somebody like David Beckham has gotten pretty close. But yeah, they don't do that unless it is in Ultimate Team and they have like maybe like a heroes card, a black card, something like that inform card where it's that particular time and particular season. Like if you got like a Zinedine Zidane, I would think Zinedine Zidane got like a 99 card somewhere, or like a 98, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the upper 90s are really more of a ultimate team catch than a non-ultimate team thing. Interesting. That's super interesting.
Yeah, it's more reserved for like absolute legends of the game. Like if you look at Zidane, Ronaldinho, those kind of players. But yeah, I think it is weird that it's been like since 2008 since this happened too, since like 5 players all are 91 overall. And I can get my player when I create my career mode pro, I'm going to get to 91 in like a couple hours.
Right.
Because I'm the best cam in the world, like I stated last podcast.
Yeah. I'm glad that confidence hasn't left, by the way. I'm glad you're still on top. Yeah.
Nick, I'll answer your question real quick. Next year FIFA license is gone. Will EA still get the top leagues teams in stadiums? Yes, because they do have that license with FIFA Pro or FIFA Pro, whatever you want to call it. They still have those licenses with the players, the teams, and the leagues. So they will. Right. It's going to still look the same. You just won't see FIFA on the side of billboards and stuff like that.
And they probably lose the World Cup, right?
Yes,
presumably
the World Cup
they will lose the branding of the World Cup. But soccer games, the NFL, like Madden games, do licensing differently because the NFL and the Players Association own all the rights to all those teams, whereas in all of the the FIFA is one overarching thing, and each one of these football leagues and football teams all have their own rights that EA goes out and talks to. So
exactly, and I would think it's really hard for games like Fight Night and UFC, because wouldn't they have to get the license for each individual boxer?
Well, that's been Esports Boxing Club's whole
issue.
That's been their whole advertising model so far, is, hey, we did it. We went out and we got all of these licenses. So Brandon Thigpen says he is not buying FIFA until they fix it. It's still broken. Is that true, Curtis?
I want to know in what way is it broken exactly. Now, I'm not saying he's wrong necessarily, but if you're talking about anything with scripting, something that EA does not want to talk about, we could talk about here, because I'll talk about scripting all day long. Have
you run into anything playing the beta that gives you the impression that like makes you said last week that you just felt like there wasn't anything super exciting to say about your time with the FIFA beta? I don't want to undercut your review, which will eventually hit our website.
Right. Yeah.
Do you feel like you've hit anything in this beta that makes you worry that people like this have like a legitimate fear of like, man, FIFA's so like, I just don't want to dip into FIFA this year?
Yeah. I think my review last year was very positive about FIFA because of the customization and things that they were bringing in, and they just didn't really expand on that when it comes to the player career mode and pro clubs. And we know the issues that are going on with pro clubs, with a lot of the community just not happy about crossplay. That should have been the big feature and things like that. I don't know, recently I feel like I'm in an intervention, because I'm like, recently, I don't like to admit it to myself, but
we're all here watching this podcast because we care about you, Curtis.
Right? That's all. I'm like, last night I got off Cyberpunk and my homie was like, "Yo, let's play some pro clubs." I was like, "Cool, I can dominate some noobs right now." So I'm playing it, and I'm just bored of the gameplay. I'm just bored of it. Like, I'm just sending in through balls, hitting long shots, spanking them in the back of the net. And I'm not trying to be funny, like, oh, I'm so good. It's just I'm doing the same stuff I do all the time. I don't know if it's because we are missing another player on our pro clubs team, or it's just, I think I'm just so ready for FIFA 23 to come out in a different experience. I don't know. But right now, I think the gameplay just needs to change for me. And there's ways, if you feel like me in the chat, like, there's ways to do that. You can, take off the pass assist and through balls and short passes. You can do those things to kind of make your experience a little bit difficult, so you can focus more and really care about your performances. But yeah, I don't know. I think ultimately, Jake, I'm going to play FIFA 23 very, very hard and see exactly where I lay with this new FIFA.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Do you know when we're getting the next chunk of FIFA news?
Do
we know?
There should be. I would think they're going to lay out more ratings because they only sent out 23 ratings. Ironically, I think we're going to get like Premier League ratings, La Liga, big name ratings, Bundesliga ratings, MLS ratings. I think we're going to keep getting those ratings, and I think that's smooth sailing until launch because a lot of people kind of forget it launches this month. So
FIFA does? Yeah, I guess
FIFA
that's
does.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
we should be pretty close then.
Yeah, it's not like if you look at games like, I don't know why I'm comparing this right now, but if you look at games like God of War, they're going to start entering the final stretch of that promotion because we're getting towards November. So it's like, okay, November, I think it's November 11th or something like that. It comes out. So it's like you get the big trailer reveal that we got in the PlayStation State of Play today, the story mode joint. And then you're going to get some little bits here and there.
September 30th.
September 30th, yeah.
Yeah. Is FIFA 23 apparently. So yeah, look forward to that. I guess we will.
Are they done with NBA Live?
Ooh, yeah, I figure we can talk about that at the end. So
okay.
Unless you're worried about it. But yeah, so Curtis will eventually. I feel like I've plugged this every week since we started this, just because I'm still looking forward to it. But we're gonna have Curtis reviewing FIFA 23 when it launches in a couple of weeks, and that'll be our big Curtis with the FIFA Bible day. So
oh man,
look forward to that.
If you want a rant, that might be the day to tune in.
That's true. Hey, Mr. you know what, Brandon? I don't know how to say Idej. Idej? I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna talk about this after a break here. Because I think we're probably gonna get into the Nintendo Direct, which does technically have sports game news, to be clear. And then we'll probably talk about the Sony State of Play as well. We will talk about, before we hit that break though, let's talk a little bit about NBA 2K23. Like we said up front, I haven't had a chance to buy it yet because I'm a broke boy. Mr. Mike Knoxxx, the CEO, is not here today, and he's probably put the most amount of time in NBA 2K23.
Yeah.
So we are not going to have a lot to say about 2K23 right now. I've seen a lot of wilds. I mean, you know what? I say I've seen a lot of wild clips of the my career mode, but nothing I've seen is nothing I see is more outlandish than getting to hang out with Jake from State Farm, which I'm sure you still get to do in this one,
right?
To be honest.
Right.
So I don't know. The review, I don't know, this is all anecdotal, right?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like the people whose opinions I trust on playing video games make it seem like this game has made positive changes to encourage people to pass the ball more, which sounds really good to me, because the few times I played 2K22 online, I didn't. Look, I feel like Mike here. I'm not good at NBA 2K. I'm not a very good NBA 2K player. That's not why I play. So maybe it's okay that nobody passed me the ball, but when you play online, man, I just run them back and forth. I'm just giving my avatar an exercise. You know what I mean? And maybe that's reflective of how I play pickup games in real life. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's really just an excuse for me to run suicides on the court, and nobody thinks it's weird that I showed up just to do that. But that. So those all sounds like positive changes. It sounds like the changes to stamina, specifically with the new stamina. Oh, I don't know what the official name for them is, but they're in chunks now, right? You have bursts instead of just one bar. Yes. So you can do 3 ball moves before you have to either stop moving, and then that makes you susceptible to steals, or you have to pass it, and then that stuff fills up while you don't have the ball.
Well, if you don't mind, if I pulled up, I actually went through and found Mike Straw's tweet when he was talking about the learning curve in NBA 2K23. And of course, he said in this tweet that my response every time is get better. He admits that he's not he's not good at the game, but the game does motivate him to improve. Now, in NBA 2K, I think it's like gameplay wise, I think it's really good when it comes to a simulation basketball game, because it isn't just how NBA Live like 2010 is. You could just run down the court, dunk on Dwight Howard, and it's all said and done.
Right.
It's very different in a lot of aspects. It's a lot more complex.
Yeah, I look forward to a lot of that stuff. I'm interested to see if there are any major changes to how the customization works, because the most fun I had playing 2K22 was just designing a bunch of extra teams and to put into the league.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's also my biggest beef with the 2K series, is that I shouldn't have to be, if I get disconnected from the servers because I've been creating teams for an hour and a half instead of playing the video game, which I get it. You're mad at me, 2K, but please just let me cook. Okay.
Let me live.
Hashtag let Jake cook. But like, it's frustrating that you lose all that progress when the server cuts you off, because you've just been designing a team for 2 hours and then you have to start that process all over again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to dig into it a lot more. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. And while we're taking this break, we're going to break you off a little piece of managing editor Mike Straw's live impressions live stream, where he, on launch day on Friday, I believe last Friday, he sat down and got on the SGO live stream as we are all today. I don't know why I'm saying it like we're all gathered here for communion or something. Yeah, right. But yeah, so we're going to break you off a little 5-minute chunk of Mike playing through NBA 2K23 while we all grab something to drink, and we will be right back.
My goal is to get listen, you're not wrong. Guys, the graphic. So if you follow me on Twitter at Mike Straw Media Cheap Plug, you know how much I love score bugs, right? This and presentation. This makes me so happy. The thing is, let me know if the commentary is too loud while I'm talking and things like that. Wait, where's the broadcast? Guys.
And we find out a lot about teams at this stage of the
So it's Kevin Harlan.
It becomes pretty clear where the soft spots are.
Yeah, this is where the general managers are their key.
That's shit.
Until the trade deadline, when there's a clear issue.
Okay, it's Clark Kellogg, and makes sense because they were kind of there. But oh my god, that score bug is shit. At least use an NBA 2K logo. They did the logos back then.
Here's Snow. Kicks it to Iverson. Driving in. Played in with a nice touch off the glass. Iverson's got the first points of the night for the 76ers.
Oh no, my controller battery's low.
Getting tricky with the ball,
I'll have to plug that in a minute. Guys, I need to get a second controller.
The pass to Kukoc. Over Van Horn.
Tony.
Kukoc can't get it to go. Iverson against Allen. Iverson outside. To the paint. Here's Van Horn. That's good. Great play set up by Iverson.
No questioning Iverson's skill for moving the ball. A guy this open.
Guys, you know what I think we're going to do? So this is just like a first impressions thing. What are your guys' thoughts on me doing like a stream a week where all we do, we actually go through, right? We go through the My Eras and we start one and we just play. We'll pick a team and go for real, like full boat. And we just do a full series of this. But it's not a YouTube series where I upload it. It's a live stream series.
Pass to Snow. 6 on the shot clock.
Don't want to shoot with him from there, but I'm gonna. Okay.
Iverson's got 5 points.
It is like it plays a lot better than it did on Dreamcast, that's for sure. What I think I'll do is I'll post a Twitter poll on days of the week we do it. It might be different days of the week because let's be real, as a dad, you can't always commit.
Johnson with a screen on McKee.
Oh, that's not going. Wow. What a bucket.
In a hurry.
76ers have gotten their first 3 shots to go in for to start off this game. Snow, the pass to Coleman.
No, I didn't want to pick and roll.
Iverson against Allen.
I didn't want to pick and roll, but
Pass to Van Horn. Back to Iverson. Here's Snow. Pass to Van Horn. Over Kukoc.
oh, I got blocked.
Nice job.
Dude, look at the rebound. He just pushes him off.
To get a hand on.
Allen Iverson on the way. Defended by Allen. Here's Van Horn.
Way too soon.
Applying with his 3.
All right, back to normal being trash.
To making the defense pay.
No, what I'll do is I'll start in the
Here's Allen.
modern era, and I'll make the Chris Paul to the Lakers trade go through.
Allen gets it done inside.
That was the 2K drive. His head move deserved another look.
And the awareness of his footwork and body on that drive. Wow.
60.
He is looking confident. Love how they're using him so far. And you know what? They're going to keep using him. I mean, he'll be the center.
Oh, that's what I want to do. Where is the auto timeouts?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I will say I chose that section specifically because I love hearing Mike Straw talk about score bugs. So I did want to get a section of Mike talking about score bugs. We are back. Just a quick reminder that we are going to be taking questions at the end. So if you have any questions about any game, sports or otherwise, that you want us to tackle or try to address, go ahead and leave them in chat. Also, if you want to be part of the conversation all week and not just on Tuesdays, we do have a Discord at sportsgamersonline.com/Discord. That's going to get you straight in. You'll be able to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Let's talk about some sports and non-sports and sports adjacent games. Today was a weirdly busy day.
Yeah.
A surprisingly busy day for game reveals in general. Not only did we have a Nintendo Direct this morning, but we also had a Sony State of Play this afternoon. And I got to say, one of these two things had a lot less farm ass games than the other one did. But let's go ahead and do this chronologically. So we're going to start with the Nintendo Direct, which happened again this morning. It's 45 minutes long. Yeah,
Jake, I just want to ask you straight up the question that I really just want to ask you.
Yeah, sure.
Did you like this Nintendo Direct?
So it wasn't for me. I don't think there's a such thing. I don't think there's a bad Direct. Like I saw a lot of people say the State of Play was a bad State of Play. I don't really know what that means. I have a lot of friends who really like the game Rune Factory, and I have a lot of friends who really like the game Story of Seasons. And for them, I'm very happy because the Nintendo Direct was basically we all played Rune Factory 4 and decided we needed to all make our own Rune Factory 4. If you're not familiar, Rune Factory 4 is Harvest Moon.
Mm-hmm.
It's Stardew Valley, actually. Stardew Valley is probably a much better comparison point at this point.
Yeah.
It's a farming sim, but there's also RPG elements, and you go in caves and you fight monsters. There are a lot of those in the Nintendo Direct today.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I like to see one of those. Fae Farm specifically was the one that caught my eye the most, I think. Just because the art style, I think, reminded me of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But like, when you fill your whole Direct with those trailers, like, come on.
It's a lot. And it seems like that kind of style of game is just really coming into style, I guess, or fashion, whatever. Because you have like you have a few independent games that are like that, like Bear and Breakfast, games like that are very similar to Stardew Valley.
Bear and Breakfast is good. A lot of cozy games, I think, is what you're kind of alluding to, which I agree. There are a lot of cozy games, which, like, look, if you started developing a game, let's say right before the pandemic happened, and this is when all of those games are starting to come out. Like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I get
exactly.
it. I kind of understand.
I didn't watch the direct or the state of play. I just kind of kept up with what was being revealed.
Okay.
But when you actually sit here and I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, they showed a new Pikmin game.
Sort of. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did technically show a new Pikmin game. That's true.
Tunic coming to Switch is a good thing.
Tunic coming to Switch is cool. I hope it runs well on the Switch. Here's my other thing with like this Nintendo Direct specifically was like seeing a bunch of games where I had to kind of be like, ooh, I really hope that game runs on a Nintendo Switch. Like Resident Evil is the only one where I didn't have that worry.
Yeah.
Because it's specifically one of the cloud save ones, which apparently run well because it's doing most of the heavy lifting in the cloud. So apparently
you would have thought
Switch,
once CD Projekt Red moved The Witcher to the Switch, it should have been able to like just about run everything.
Well, I think the problem is they're not willing to make a more powerful Switch, apparently. So
oh my
maybe they're not super worried about it. But yeah, we did get, like I mentioned before, we did get some sports news here. There is a new Mario Strikers free DLC Pack 2 that adds 2 new arenas, which as far as I know, still don't do anything except look away.
Cosmetic.
I think they're cosmetic. And this trailer was really funny, by the way, because a common complaint and one of my own complaints with Mario Strikers, the new Mario Strikers game, is that there is 8-player. It supports 4v4 offline, but it only supports 2v2 online. And so like, a lot of people have been asking, like, please give us something. Give us 8-player online, like put the support in, let 4v4 play online. And they led the first thing they said about Mario Strikers in this trailer was Mario Strikers, the game that supports 8-player local co-op. So it's like, oh, okay. So they don't even care.
Yeah. They're like throwing it right back in the fans' face. Like it's, locally. Okay. Come on, you guys.
Yeah. So they're adding 2 new arenas, they're adding a bunch of new gear, and they're adding Paulina from Mario Odyssey or Donkey Kong, depending on how far back you want to go, as a new character. And that update's free, which is good, but all that stuff should have been in the game when they launched it, which is bad.
Well, and also Diddy Kong's joining.
Oh yes, sorry, Diddy Kong, my bad. I got you get tunnel vision.
I got you.
Diddy Kong also joining, yes. But the point being, this is a cast. We're approaching a cast number that maybe should have been the launch number, especially if you compare it to old Mario Strikers games. Like the Mario Strikers Charged cast. Let me see if I can find a number because I might not be able to. But there were like almost twice the number of characters in Mario Strikers Charged, the Wii Mario Strikers game, than there were Battle League, the one that just came out. And like, yes, they're adding all these characters in for free, but there's no reason why the launch toolkit should be worse in the new generation game than it was on the freaking Wii. Are you kidding me?
I think Nintendo makes really weird decisions sometimes.
Well, I think this is the pattern they follow with the entire new generation of sports games. Like Mario Tennis Aces probably launched with the most stuff at launch and probably felt like the most full of the new sports games. But like Mario Golf feels like a new game now because they released 8 months worth of DLC over 8 months. And now it doesn't even feel like a game that has DLC. It feels like a game that should have launched. Like,
well, and I mean, you're leading right into Nintendo Switch Sports, like right into it, talking about that, because it's like you only have 6 sports at launch, and you're pushing back golf, and it's like this should have been at launch along with baseball, where is baseball at? Where's boxing at?
Right.
Where are all
Right.
these sports at? Like you guys have, it's not even, and Jake, it's not only just Wii Sports. It's like Wii Sports Resort. Like you have all those kind of games and modes that you had in that, like running, you had like skiing, stuff like that. And all that is just like, oh, well, we're only going to put 6 in there. And it's like,
Right.
where are all these sports at?
I'm a little more forgiving for the big sports game like roundup because all of the sports games have kind of been like that. But yeah, I mean, like they literally talked about golf when they did the reveal for Switch Sports and we're like, hey, we're not adding it on launch. And also, hey, we're not adding it when we said we were either, which is the other bit of sports news that we get from the Nintendo Direct, which is that Switch. Jeez. Didn't it also, you know what Nintendo's also not very good at? Naming video games.
That is true.
Switch Sports was supposed to add golf. I believe it was supposed to be soon, right? It was supposed to be like this time of year.
It was literally probably about to be this time.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be late September. Now it is holiday 2022. So there's been a bit of a delay in the release of golf. And again, like I'm balancing two thoughts here because like I think pre-pandemic it was totally fine for games to be delayed as long as they weren't completely finished games like Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot, a game that people have played because it accidentally got pushed to their Switch. So it's a real game that could just be out right now, but they won't do it. I think that any company has any reason to delay any game. And so like, I don't want to be that critical of like the delay. The delay is not what bothers me about this. I think it's totally fine. Again, like when they released Switch Sports, I'm not going to cut any of this out of the audio. Everybody gets to hear me stumble over these words I've decided. When they announced Switch Sports, they were like, hey, golf's coming. So it's like, hey, here's something that we know we're working on. Which makes it a little more frustrating, even though like I want to be very understanding of this because you knew you were working on it. Like you just didn't get it done before they wanted you to release this on the Switch. Why not just like, I don't know. It puts me in a weird place, but I am excited about golf battle royale.
Battle royale, huh? Just like in bowling. And the funny thing is in my review, I said it. I was like, it feels like Nintendo Switch Sports, while it is good, like a lot of the quality around the sports games or sports modes are really good. You can tell there's holes in the game that they tend to fill at some point. Spoko Square is beautiful and bustling and really big. And it's like, we can't walk around here. We can't try to go into shops and stuff like that. But then there's like a loading screen that says something about shopping in Spoko Square. So it's like, is that coming later? Do you guys must have a roadmap that you have not shared with the fans yet?
Right. Yeah. Or like they dumped half of the game. I don't know. Like Mario Super Sluggers, another good example of an incredible Mario sports game.
Absolutely.
Nintendo used to be really good at making Mario sports games. And now I don't trust them to make another Mario Super Sluggers because why would I buy that game at launch when the game's not even going to be done until 10 months after they release it? Like,
it's true. Very much.
I don't know. Sluggers is great. We should play Sluggers on the channel sometime. I think that would be a lot of fun.
That would be really fun, actually.
Some other big announcements that happened, some non-sports announcements that happened during the Nintendo Direct. We did get a first look at the Niantic Pikmin game, which are the developers of Pokemon Go. It's Pokemon Go, but with Pikmin.
I did not know that. Are you serious?
Basically, yeah. You walk around. It keeps track of where you're walking. You grow flowers behind you. You feed nectar to your Pikmin, and they blossom into flowers.
Oh my God, Jake, are you serious?
No, why would I lie about this? Why would I make this up? I'm not that clever. You should go look.
That is fucking stupid.
Because then he announced, this is why I was reflecting on, this is why I was reacting the way I did to you saying that I was like, new Pikmin.
But it's Pikmin 4. What are you talking about?
Because then he said, hey, we're working on Pikmin 4, which puts Pikmin 4 right in the exact same development hell as Metroid Prime 4. So I hope that game comes out someday in 10 years.
God.
They apparently revealed a new trailer for Bayonetta 3.
Yeah,
which was
I'm
like
excited.
which was like the news. They showed Bayonetta 3 and then they were like, hey, by the way, there's going to be a big trailer for this separate than this. But I couldn't find it. I looked for it earlier today after the direct, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just bad at looking. But
I
there's
don't
new
understand the
3 news.
Bayonetta. I don't understand the Bayonetta story. I just love kicking demons' butt.
I think that's the
her,
Bayonetta
so-
story. I think you're good.
Yeah, I think that's
you
it.
know it.
So I'm like so excited because I've actually beaten 2, played 1, beaten 2. I love her character. I think her character is really funny, hilarious. Over sexualized 8-foot witch, great, good gaming, good game story.
Right. Yeah, sometimes that's all you need. I mean, like, sometimes that's all you need. You know, famously, Yoko Taro
Mm-hmm.
was like, sometimes I just want to design a protagonist who has a nice butt and looks hot. So like, some people are like that.
And there's like a setting where you can cut out all like the gluteus shots, apparently. Like, I was like,
for Bayonetta has the I forget what they call it. They have a censorship mode, which is very funny. I thought that was a very funny announcement, but yes. And then the other big announcement that wasn't a Story of Seasons or Rune Factory or farming / RPG game was they have a release date for Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, for the
Tears
Kingdom,
of the Kingdom,
from the Kingdom. I forget which F it is, but it's coming out in May, allegedly. We'll see. There's plenty of time for that game to not come out in May, but they've been working on that. I mean, I have to assume that game's been nose to the grindstone. So
yeah, really excited about that. When I think Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is one of the best games ever created in modern gaming. It is absolutely amazing. I expect kind of like what they did with Majora's Mask. It's probably going to be a little bit more of like a darker story told, but it's going to have it's going to be in Hyrule, kind of the same features, but they're going to add in a lot of new stuff and things like that.
Yeah, I would like them to give me a lot of lore in this one. I love Nintendo also doesn't like giving people lore, so I think that would be great. Not only was there a Nintendo Direct, there was a
State of Play.
There was a Sony State of Play as well. We don't have as much on brand stuff to talk about for the Sony State of Play. They did not announce any stuff related to racing games, which is kind of where I would have thought I would have seen a little bit of news about racing games would be at the Sony State of Play, but we did not see anything.
Yeah,
like
because
that.
Isn't there a Forza Motorsport, like almost a rebrand?
Yeah, there is a new Forza game being developed. I think it got announced.
It was in the summer, wasn't it?
It got announced at quote unquote at the last No, not at E3, was it? Yeah, it got announced earlier this year, I want to say. But I don't think we've heard anything new about that to my knowledge. So
yeah, there isn't. I want to say maybe during like an Xbox thing. I think I wrote about it. It's funny how you can write about something and completely forget about anything.
Yeah. It's funny it's funny how time keeps on marching forward.
It's funny how time just moves and you just stand still. What do you think about the Hogwarts Legacy? If you don't mind.
I don't give a damn, dude. I don't mean that in an aggressive way to you. I mean it in an aggressive way to terrible transphobe J.K. Rowling, who will receive money from this project no matter what.
Yeah. You're one of those people. I get it.
What do you?
No, not like that. Not like in the sense of like, oh,
good.
you're one of those people.
Good.
It's like, no, okay, that's what I was getting at. Like, I was like, what do you think about?
Yeah, I mean, like even before all this, like Harry Potter was not really my bag. Like, I was never really like I don't know. Like, I wasn't I don't care about my Harry Potter house. Like, you know, I don't get into it like that. So like, I don't know that I would have got super into this game anyway, but like especially now I just like that game series has no goodwill with me. There is no positive reason for me to support that game, that project, and like also there are a ton of other games where I can play as a witch and make potions, like whatever.
Exactly.
So
exactly. Definitely entitled to that. Any news about racing games like NASCAR, F1, Need for Speed, Gran Turismo, Forza? I think, like we just said about Forza Motorsport will be the next one. They do have a DLC out, I believe, right now for Forza Horizon 5. Need for Speed is going to get an announcement. Now, I don't know if that's going to be another reboot for the
Oh,
series.
yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Or if they're just going to kind of just say this is just a new Need for Speed game. I don't know what they're doing, but I think it's funny that if they do reboot it again, I think Electronic Arts just needs to do something different with Need for Speed. They need to do something else.
Yeah, one of our top news writers, Curtis Russell, wrote about this back in late August, so a couple weeks ago. I mean, like, so the last kind of update we got on the Need for Speed series was a series of rumors that hit Reddit. So, like, literally take this for a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
That basically seemed to suggest that there would be a Need for Speed 2022 info. Or, sorry, I read too far ahead of myself. That quote unquote, a bunch of stuff leaked about what would be a Need for Speed 2022 game. Now we're running out of 2022. So, like, will we still see that announcement soon? Probably. But basically, yeah, like if what this person says is true, which again, this is a rumor, a friend of a friend from Reddit. So, like, take this with a grain of salt. This would be pretty much a total rework on Need for Speed, which, like you were saying, Curtis, like, the game probably needs that. So, like, maybe we got that to look
funny
forward to.
enough, I was look, this is gonna stay clean, trust me. I was in the shower.
I see. Okay, go ahead.
I was in
Tread
the shower
lightly.
and I was like, why does it seem like the crew has done over the last couple of years, just done a little bit more than Need for Speed has? Like, they really tried to do the open world thing. They tried to take you all across, like, the country, and Need for Speed kind of did their own take on that, and it was kind of mediocre. But the only game that seems to just come out above all of the racing games at the moment is Forza Horizon. But so it's
Right,
like,
which
it's great. It's a great series. Yeah,
it was the Xbox and Bethesda showcase, which I totally forgot was what that was what that was. I totally forgot that there was an E3 week, even though we didn't have E3. Forza Motorsport is spring 2023, and I don't think we've gotten any big news about Forza Motorsport since then. So
no, and
so
the holiday season doesn't seem like their time to really shine either.
Well, if they're really going to hit in spring 2023, I imagine we'll see more about that in the coming months, like maybe some kind of November Xbox. I mean, maybe even a late September Xbox. If we got Nintendo and Sony today, there's no reason why we won't get Xbox later this month. Like, who knows?
Okay.
So, I would not be surprised to see more about that sometime September, October, like maybe November. But yeah,
I think the thing I would have to say is just, what else does Xbox really have to show right now? I don't think they're going to show more.
Infinite.
Oh my God. I don't think they have more Starfield to show at the moment.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it may just be Fable trailer drops at some point. So
yeah.
So, like, the launch window for Forza Motorsport from back in June when this was announced is spring 2023. So yeah, I mean, like, we're theoretically in the window where we will be getting any big news about racing games. We're just not really getting it right now.
Yeah.
F1 Manager 2022 came out. Other big things
from supposed to review that one.
Wow. Other big things from the Sony State of Play were a couple of new games where you hit people with swords. Those looked pretty cool. They're bringing the old timey Yakuza game to America. They're remastering that, so that's cool. I don't know if that's a remaster. It looked way nicer than. I don't know. I don't want to call that a remaster because it might be wrong, but they're bringing that to
spin-off. It's a spin-off.
Yes, they're bringing that spin-off. Yeah. And then they dropped a God of War trailer, which you alluded to earlier about it being that time of that game comes out this year, which I didn't even realize. I thought for sure that was 2023, so I was very surprised by that.
Does it make the cutoff for Game of the Year? Do you know?
Ragnarok? I mean, not ours because it's not a sports game, but probably
not ours. No,
it is a remaster.
Ours.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Luckily, Laws is. I want to also say Laws corrected me earlier. The Pikmin Pokemon Go game apparently has been out for a long time. They just showed more news about it on the Nintendo Direct, which led me to believe that it was new because why else would you show it in a Nintendo Direct? So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you, Laws. Thank you, friend of the show, Laws. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do viewer questions while we get a second. We got a couple minutes for this. I've written a couple down throughout the show, but if you've got any questions for the Nintendo Direct, the Sony State of Play, sports games, got any questions about any of that, or you just want to hear our opinion on stuff? I think we got a question about wrestling and pudding last week, so like there really aren't necessarily parameters.
That was funny. That was funny.
But yeah, if we can go back a little bit, Dominic Ferguson asked if we had any NBA Live news, and unfortunately, Dominic, we do not.
Sorry, man.
Are they done with NBA Live? I don't know, man. I mean, back when I was hosting this podcast with Mike Straw, we were fielding these exact same questions about like, is NBA Live dead? Like, did they lie to us? Like, did they bury it and they're not talking to us? Are they still working on it behind the scenes? Like, the answers, as far as we know, are we think that they still plan on making an NBA Live at some point. That's the most we've heard about it for about 10 months now. So like, it's hard to say. I don't know that like,
does EA want to stay in the basketball space?
Well, so that's the thing is like 2K does well enough every year that like, I don't see why it would be beneficial to get it to make an NBA Live game. Not that I think that like, not that I want to say that 2K can't be improved upon or is the like gold standard of basketball game. It's just like, I feel like 2K does well enough in the basketball space that like EA maybe doesn't want to even bother. You know what I mean?
All right.
And then, yeah, we answered this.
They're too busy grabbing developers for Star Wars projects and crap like that.
Eric Herrera asked, do you think there will be another Mario baseball game? You know what? I didn't think they would do another Mario Strikers. So maybe. Like, if you'd asked me this after Mario Golf Super Rush came out, I would have said there's no way they're going to do another Mario sports game. Not for another, like, 10 years. Like, this launch was bad. The reviews were pretty bad. Like, they must have seen all this and, like, not even considered it. But you know what? Like, they brought back the Mario soccer game, which I like, but I think it's a worse game than Mario Super Sluggers. So, like, at this point, like, who knows? Again, like, my worry is not necessarily that, like, do I think Nintendo will ever bring it back? Is like, do I want Nintendo to ever make a new one? At the quality that they've been making these new wave of sports games, I would almost say no. But I would love to see another Mario Sluggers game. I think that game's sick. What about you, Curtis?
Will they even have enough? Will they put enough characters in there to be on the field?
Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of spots. Well, the way that they did this Mario Sluggers is you pick like 3 people, and then everybody else on the field was like a Piranha Plant or a Koopa Trooper or something.
Oh,
so, like,
yeah, that's right.
Like,
yeah,
you don't got to fill the diamond with Nintendo characters.
Right. Maybe Nintendo can be just. Nintendo's just so weird. Like I meant to actually say earlier, like I think it's just so funny they're remaking, remastering whatever another Kirby game, and guess how much money it's going to be? It's going to be $60.
I own that game for the Wii. Yeah.
I think it's funny they do that.
I think it's smart for them to do that with the Wii U games because I think a lot of people didn't know the Wii U, but doing it with the Wii games, I think is pretty weird. Somebody needs to make a Thundercats game. You're correct. That's not a question, but I wanted to highlight it on stream. What's my Super Bowl prediction after week 1?
The Steelers.
Oh, you're a You know what? Steelers got rid of the main thing that I hated the Steelers for, so I can't be that mad.
Big Ben.
I could find a way, yeah. But no, I kind of want who's Trubisky's there, right? Because I hate the Bears, I do kind of want the Steelers to succeed because I want Trubisky to succeed. But I mean, I think we're looking at here's my week 1 predictions: Buffalo Bills versus, boy, it's a lot harder to pick an NFC team after week 1, I think. You know what? I'm going to say Bills versus Seahawks. Mostly because I think it would be really funny for Geno Smith to be in the Super Bowl.
Man.
He deserves it. Last question we're going to go ahead and field today. Is Esports Boxing Club game ever going to come out?
Oh, man.
Buffalo Bills versus Minnesota Vikings. Also a good choice. Is Esports Boxing Club game ever going to come out? Momo News, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope it does. Is it going to hit the 2022 release window? Maybe not. I would be surprised. Will the beta drop in 2022? I don't know. The thing about Esports Boxing Club now, and I may have mentioned this before on a podcast, so I apologize. And Curtis, please stop me if you've heard this before. Esports Boxing Club's at a point now where they've gone silent for so long that at some point they just need to not show up again until they have that beta, like that early access for Steam, and then just be like, boom, Apple iPhone, here it is. Like, we're dropping the, hey, what's up? I'm Punch Guy who punches the camera every time for Esports Boxing Club, and we're dropping the. Now I feel bad that I don't remember his name. And we're dropping the public the thing is happening right now.
The thing is happening right now.
I messed it up really bad because I got nervous about not remembering this guy's name, and I felt really guilty about it.
I think it's good to sometimes regurgitate some of those things, because it's like you get some of the same questions, but that game is really highly requested. A lot of people want to know about, the esports like the esports boxing, and it seems like we do get, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jake, we get news on that every other month. I mean, it's not like they've been left in the darks per se.
Well, but that's the thing, is we don't get that news anymore. So they stopped doing the weekly, it's not been years yet. We don't get they stopped doing the weekly, they stopped doing the weekly, updates like months ago, so now they just kind of have big news releases when they have them, or they have like, what they'll do is they'll share like new fighters that they've scanned. You know what I mean? So they're making progress. It's just like, at this point, I don't think that we're going to hear anything big about Esports Boxing Club until it's time for them to put that bad boy into early access. And then I think that's the next big news we get about Esports Boxing Club. So.
Do you want to answer this last question right here? Do you guys think EA is working on another boxing game? It's a rumor. Right.
Scuttlebutt is that yes, they are, but like, we're not insiders, so don't, I
Jake
think
is.
that I'm not an insider on what do you need to know about? Is it I don't even have a good joke for this.
I couldn't be an EA, like, what are they called? Is it the EA Game Changers, stuff like that?
Yeah, Game Changer.
I can't believe those people lied about Anthem like that. Like, that is ridiculous.
Get out of here. I do think that, like, I think it's unrealistic to assume that EA did not see the buzz growing around Esports Boxing Club and think we should do that. We should cash in on that. So like, yeah, I think we may see another EA boxing game soon. Ready to Rumble boxing remakes win anytime, please. EA, if you're watching this, please. I don't think it's up to you, but whoever makes Ready to Rumble boxing, if you're watching this, hi, I'm Jake Jacobson. And you've been watching the SGO Press Pass. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you for tuning in. Love seeing and recognizing names week to week. We really appreciate y'all for stopping by every week and sticking around and asking questions, making comments, and hearing us out and supporting us and showing us love. Midway, yes. Thank you, Eric. Midway, I'm sorry that I got your name wrong. I didn't mean it. It just left my head because I'm trying to host a podcast and end it. Thank you for watching. Curtis, where are they going to be able to find you, my man?
On
whoa
at Cali from the Dojo on Twitter. You guys can follow me there. I do a lot of other work in the industry. I work for another little group, and then also I have my own separate podcast. You guys can check us out on talk about a whole array of things, of video games, stuff like that. So yeah, at Cali from the Dojo on Twitter. Go ahead and give me a follow. And yeah,
you can find me at TH3 Composer. If that's confusing, it's written right here. You can find me on Twitter there. I have a lot of good thoughts on a lot of good things. Mike Knoxxx is not here, but he would love it if you followed him on Twitter as well, at Mike Knoxxx with 3 X's at the end. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, because he's hardcore. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We will be back again next week at 10. Nope. What am I doing? We'll be back next week on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. tune in. We will see y'all next week. Peace out, y'all.